group of the BLDC on inhabitants' rights and obligations decided that any nationals living continuously in Hong Kong for 7 years should be eligible for permanent residence. The view reached at this shaman meeting enables expatriates and Hong Kong Chinese with foreign citizenships to get elected into the legislature. This virtually equates permanent residence with local inhabitants. That means these two groups, after having lived in Hong Kong for 7 years, can enjoy the same political rights. One BLDC member says this could serve the interests of Hong Kong.
If we keep in mind that we're going to be a local government, that we at best can only have a democratic system of government that will ensure prosperity and stability, then we must know the best arrangement for us would be to have as many people who can contribute to stability and prosperity as possible to be involved in the work of the government.
And this consultative committee member also says foreigners can play an active role in the post-1997 society.
I think they can play a part which will be very useful to Hong Kong and keep its identity as an international place. I think it may be rather reassuring to the Chinese people in Hong Kong that people who are not Chinese is going to be prepared to work hard for the success of Hong Kong and be committed to Hong Kong and take a full part in it. But this requires an awful lot of those individuals themselves. They've got to be committed to Hong Kong. They've got to feel that they can serve a useful part and that whatever hard work they're putting in does bring about results.
Shortly after the shaman meeting, the left-wing newspaper Wen Wei Bao questioned the nature of equating permanent residence with local inhabitants. It said that right now, foreign nationals are eligible for permanent residence only after living in the territory for 9 years. The article also says that making this group full citizens without acquiring Chinese Special Administrative Region nationality is something that needs rethinking. It says foreign passport holders, if elected to the legislature, might create a situation where there could be a conflict of allegiance. However, John Lamborn has another opinion.
Make this point. I think if you regard Hong Kong as a city-state, then if you live in Liverpool, then you're a Liverpudlian. Your sort of obligations and commitment is to Liverpool. That doesn't conflict with your national status. I would have rather thought that Hong Kong would be like that. I don't see really where the conflict will be, as long as you're committed and you want Hong Kong to succeed, and that is the basis on which you're going to take part.
If the legislature turned out to be basically more consultative than policy making, you see, and also the relationship between the executive and the legislature is one where willpower is in the hands of the executive branch, then this should not affect the situation, namely holders of foreign passports, local inhabitants, you know, who hold Canadian and American passports, not to mention BNO, should not be disqualified.
But a Basic Law Consultative Committee subgroup on inhabitants' rights is recently discussing this definition further. The group says the definition would have an important bearing on which category of people will be ruling Hong Kong after 1997. The outcome of their deliberations might be different from that of their drafting committee counterparts. John Lamborn, also a member of this subgroup, explains.
Well, it doesn't seem to be restrictive, so that is a very good thing as far as Hong Kong's international status and for it to continue is concerned. That's good. But it is rather all-encompassing, so one wonders whether there are going to be some restrictions in some ways, perhaps to be discussed later on or or clarified.
Yeong Sum of the Koshan Mass Rally also has some reservations.
I think concerning the passport holders, I mean the foreign passport holders, whether they are eligible for being elected into the electoral members, I think it is a serious matter to be discussed and to be thought through. And I don't suggest that we should jump to a quick conclusion, saying that those with the foreign passport should be elected into electoral.
Liu Yu-chu says the meaning of local inhabitants will be related to the future political setup.
If Hong Kong people insist that the future system should be highly political, that decision-making power should only be in the hands of an elected legislature or an executive that comes from and within the legislature, and the legislature is very political, etc., and then it would be reasonable for China to insist that aliens should be disqualified.
In the past few years, top Chinese officials have pointed out that they would not like to see drastic changes in Hong Kong after 1997. So it's now up to the Hong Kong people and the Chinese government to address the question of how the territory can enjoy a high degree of autonomy, as well as maintaining its stability and prosperity.
Stay with us now for the best in music and dance with Mile 7 Friday Solid Gold.